Welcome to the Delicious Kitchen, and I'm going to show you how to make a fabulously simple fresh chicken stock. Now, a really great way to make chicken stock is to use the leftover carcass after your roast Sunday lunch. I haven't had a roast Sunday lunch because actually it's Thursday, so I'm going to make a chicken stock using a whole chicken. This is actually a really great way to use it because you get a whole poached chicken at the end, which you can then use for other recipes. So I've got a free-range chicken here, it's just a medium chicken, and I've trimmed it of any excess fat, and I'm just going to pop it into a saucepan. If you don't have a saucepan that's big enough, don't worry, you can just joint the chicken roughly into pieces and put it into the pan that you've got, so don't panic. So into our pan we want to add some aromatics because we want our chicken stock to have lots of lovely flavour. So we're going to add some chopped carrot. I've just got a couple of chopped carrots here, put those in. A couple of sticks of celery and 2 onions that I've just chopped into wedges roughly, and they're just going to go in around our little chicken. And then we want a bit more flavour in there, so we're going to add some bay leaves, just going to add a couple of fresh bay leaves. You can use dried, but fresh are better if you can get hold of them. And then we've got some parsley stalks. Don't use the leaves of the parsley, actually most of the flavour is in the stalks, so you want to use the stalks. So just tear those off a bunch of parsley, you can save the leaves for later. So just scatter those in. And some fresh thyme, that's going to give it a lovely floral flavour. Just scatter those in. And then last, we're going to add some black peppercorns. This just gives a little piquant kick to your chicken stock. So just scatter this in. I've got about 10 in there. The next thing you want to do is you want to cover the whole thing with cold water. And now we're just going to pop it over a really high heat and bring it up to the boil. As it started boiling, there's some scum and residue and fat that has just come up to the surface. So I'm now going to turn it down to a simmer. I'm just going to use a ladle. I'm going to skim off the scum and fat from the top of my stock. And once you've done this, you're then going to simmer it for 3 to 4 hours. As it simmers, you want to remove as much of the fat and scum that's going to come to the surface as possible. And a great way of doing this is what the French call dépouiller. And this just means adding cold water to your stock. So you just add a splash. And that just brings down the temperature of your water and solidifies any fat and scum and helps bring it to the surface. Skim this off and then return your stock to a simmer. And you want to do this a couple of times over the 3 to 4 hours that your stock is going to cook for. So my chicken's now been cooking for 3 to 4 hours and it's lovely and tender, and I can smell all the flavours of the chicken and the aromatics coming out of there, and it's ready to strain. So my chicken is out, and that is now going to be really fantastic to use for loads of other recipes. And here I've got the rest of my stock, and I'm just going to strain that into the bowl through the muslin. Let it cool, and once it's cooled, just skim off any fat that comes to the surface, and then you can either keep that in the fridge, and it'll keep in the fridge for 3 or 4 days, and you can use that in your recipes and your weekly cooking, or if you wanted, you could just freeze it either in freezer bags or in ice cube trays, and you'll have delicious homemade chicken stock to use whenever you need it.